3, 2, and 1. Let us start. They got all new little things starting over here. Okie dokie. Let's see if we are live. We're gonna cover all the craziness that's going on. And it is crazy out there.
I don't see us. Do you see us?
Let us see.
Sorry, live chat is currently unavailable. Why?
Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I see. There's the arts. There we go. Yeah. See? It says there.
Can chat.
It says 3. Yeah, there's 3 of us here. Why is live chat unavailable?
That's awful.
Let's see. I see. There's the.
Hold on, Mike's gonna try to figure this out.
It says 3.
For some reason, the live chat's not available, and that's just no fun.
I don't know. Maybe it's because there's.
I don't know. This is so sad.
Why is live chat unavailable?
We're looking, you guys. I'm sorry. We're trying to pull this up here and figure it out. We may just have to go make a regular video. I don't know.
Or I see viewers coming in.
We see viewers coming in, you guys. We don't know.
Maybe it's because there's so many people live chatting. I don't know.
I don't know. It does that.
Excellent connection.
Good connection. Can people leave comments? Can you tell? Let's see. Oh gosh.
I see it.
Can you chat? Oh,
there.
okay, you can chat. Here, fix mine. Sorry, you guys. We're just a little discombobbled.
No, well, there's something different here. They have live chat currently unavailable.
On the screen, on the computer.
Our screen, if you guys can see. But I could see looking because we have our tablet and Cindy's got her phone going.
We're just... We'll get it together here. Sita is excited for it, too.
Just go to home.
So, we have Karen, we have Talisha, we have all kinds of people here.
Yeah, I see Joffrey. Oh, wow, we got a Grizz sidling.
Whoa, Grizz sidling.
A Grizz sidling. And Rama is excited.
Rama's excited about
There's
it.
Susan Donahue, Dreaming Puerto Rico. KK heads to.
Maverick.
K heads to. Peggy's here. Karen R. Awesome. Talisha. Rosemary. Awesome. We can see you guys. And and the dogs are exciting, and already we have some results coming in, as you can see. I think everybody knows that there's going to be some sort of zigzag going on here, some sort of weird.
I just thought it was nice to pull people together.
That was weird. OBS just disconnected and reconnected.
Yeah, something's going on. Something's totally interfering, you guys. We got in a big trouble with evolutionary, so we're down for 6 days, 5 days, I think today. I think that was yesterday. So it's not all bad, but we're being monitored for sure.
Oh well, we've been monitored since day one, since before day one.
No.
Before day one, obviously. What's the matter?
They say it's buffering, but it should come back up.
Okay. Buffering, terrible sound going in and out. Nothing would surprise me. We have a very, very fast internet connection. Where we are now, it's got a great connection. So, what's going on is really probably the results of a combination of things, interference, and then the fact that there's so many people doing lives right now covering the election. So that's adding to it, I'm sure, too. Maverick says that Dabu had the same problem with OBS. Lots of shenanigans. Absolutely, yeah. And Susan Donahue, as slaves realized after the Civil War, just because you get to choose your master doesn't make you free. Cindy was saying we should try to repost that one video that this other guy did. That was all about that. I'm not sure if you guys had gotten to see it, but we did do a video on it where we just showed what he had done, which was great because basically convincing the slaves that their decisions actually mattered when in reality they didn't. And I want to say the biggest thing I saw today was a video from Clear Seeing, which is the Polish psychic Christoph, which one of our family members on this morning's video said, did you see Christoph's last post in English? And I hadn't. I had meant to look at it this morning. And hitting and watching that, boy, that hit me hard. That hit me real hard. It was, and I'm going to share it with you guys on this video. It's very sobering, to say the least. And I do think here we are, when Trump went for his first go against Hillary, I was hit before the election with the feeling that if Hillary got in, then the road that they were going to take in this drama that we're all living was going to be pretty much an immediate world war and just horrible destruction. And that, to me, Trump represented stalling and putting things off and giving things a little more time. So, that's what I felt that first election cycle. And, it kind of feels like that here, too. Like if they do say, again, Trump, we go to bed and we think it looks like a Trump victory. Like here they're showing 53.8 to 45.4. And then something happens and it gets reversed. I think that's the most likely scenario in my mind. That feels like the most likely scenario. But it absolutely feels that in some ways, if we're going down the route of this great act that's ongoing, and so many people recognize this is a drama for the masses. I'm seeing so many Twitter posts of so many people coming out of the woodwork saying, this is all a drama. This is live theater. Votes don't really count, and it's all just basically to convince people that they have actual power in these things. So many people are really, really waking up. They really are en masse, and it just seems like every day it's increasing exponentially. Well, it just feels that if they go the route of keeping it a Democratic White House, then the war will start very shortly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's already something in play. I just know which way I prefer to go. When it comes to destiny, we do get to choose the road that we take. We get to choose our path. We get to choose all kinds of things on the road to destiny, and this is one of those things. And I'm kind of watching, and it's a lot of people still believe in voting, and that's great. That's great for them, and it's something that if they believe in, you have to follow your belief system. You just have to, because if you go against it, it feels so wrong and it feels so yucky. So anything you do, it has to be within your heart. Just because we don't believe in something doesn't mean that you can't. You should. That's what I like to try to get people to do. It's like, walk your own path. You want to be true to you. So if it matters to you that you vote, then that's what you need to do. You need to vote. I look at it, and I've just seen so much in my life. I just don't have any belief in it, and that's my belief, and that's my opinion, you can say, because I feel it. I feel this is all pre-recorded. They all kind of probably get together at the end of the night and have a drink together anyway. It's not that there's really any opponents at all. There's plenty of pictures of them. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Miss Lindsay. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you from Canada. Lindsay Ellis says, thank you, dear. That helps so much. It really, really does. Any little bit of support we can get is super helpful. So thank you for that. Yes, Grizz, we miss you too. We hope you're doing well. And anyhow, I'll let Mike cover this because this is more up his alley. He just has a better feel for it.
Well, I'll always defer to her wisdom. Honestly, I will.
So kind.
I'm her biggest fan, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, her mini me and her other kids and grandchildren, they're all big fans as well. And I think some of you guys are too out there. Yeah, we've been doing this together for 5 years now. So, that's over 5 years, 5.5 years. We've been doing this together. As you can see, the map is starting to shade in some states towards the red. We've seen hanging chads. I remember going to bed thinking Al Gore won and then waking up and finding out it was Bush. And at that time, for as much as I can't stand Al Gore, I didn't want to see Bush because I couldn't stand them even more. And I just had a feeling of dread with Bush. And look what happened. We had 9/11. We had the beginning of the end of so much of our freedoms here in the U.S. Lindsay, again, thank you so much. Stay safe, everybody. There is so much that we are going to have to navigate through. I do think that even though we know, again, things are planned and any way we go, I still kind of think that it's more pleasant to go through a good cop than a bad cop, even though, they're all actors and they're all, playing their parts. Anything that gives us a little bit more time to awaken people is good. And people are truly awakening. I think that it's an awakening that's happening faster than they can manage. Yet we still do have, and Susan Donahue, who's been with us for so many years. Thank you, dear Susan.
Thank you so much, Susan Donahue. Every little bit helps. As you guys know, we kind of gotten in a little bit of trouble over on evolutionary. And, it does cover the grocery bills. It does cover something. So, yes, this definitely helps offset you guys. We appreciate it. And we wanted to come on and just help people connect tonight anyway, because their energy is really high. And, I thought, while we're sitting here, I might do a little bit of diffusing of the energy, because energy, when it gets together, it kind of gets all bunched up and it can actually create blocks and make people not feel well. So I'm going to be working with the crystal, and the forks are silent. You're not going to hear them. Some of you might feel them though. So I thought that would be fun, coming on here and doing a little bit of energy work while Mike talks, and kind of just give us all a little boost.
Thank you, dear. And, Rasta Bear says in Portland, where he is, there's a lot of buildings boarded up in preparation of what's coming. I think, again, if the red side wins, you're more likely to see, in my opinion, just my humble opinion, a lot more chaos in the streets than if we see the blue side win. But I do think, again, that's the bottom line that they want, is the chaos in the streets. But they're also really, really, they are so telegraphing stuff. Here you have several polling locations in Georgia were evacuated due to bomb threats. That's what they're saying, forcing voting at these locations to be suspended, right? And now I've watched this guy come on like 3 or 4 times talking about this, and he's really telegraphing, I think, the next step in the play if it is a blue victory. Why would you do this? The United States was going to reportedly conduct a test of a hypersonic nuclear missile tonight, just hours after the election polls close. Okay, it's a show of strength, a show of whatever. It's also showing that, again, the leadership of this planet truly is demonic. They are demonic. So, that point of view, that demons are the ones that are behind all this. Yes. Doesn't mean they're terrestrial demons, though. Just saying. Yeah, absolutely. This is talking about a Georgia poll worker has just been arrested for making threats against other poll workers and attempting to frame a voter. There's going to be all sorts of chaos. There's as we were just getting ready to go live, there was so much chaos breaking out, and as soon as we cover some of these things, we'll move in, and I'll go take a look, see what other new chaos is going on as well. So Georgia, obviously, it's one of the key states. This is the Georgia Secretary of State that I was talking about, and he was giving updates. And here you can see threats were of some of them Russian origin. And then I heard another official, I want to say it was in Arizona, that was referring to this instant and saying, yeah, we're getting notifications that threats are coming in from an outside nation, outside influence. And again, they're pinning it on Russia. The fascinating thing is, remember, 45 was always saying China, like blaming China for everything. And then you get the whole 46 saying, 45 is in collusion with Russia. But China and Russia are like as unified gets, guys. Hello.
I know. So I've been sitting here doing some patterning. You guys take some deep breaths and ground with your feet. And if you're having anxiety, hopefully this might help a little bit. I don't know how much you're going to feel it because there is an awful lot of energy in the room. It's pretty thick, but I thought this might help people kind of hopefully rest and relax and just help heal a little bit, because this is so traumatizing. This is so extremely traumatizing. Because so many of us we know what the rules are. We know the things that could happen. We know what this means for so many people. And it just kind of keeps us up in the air. I don't like it. This is not my favorite time of year. I prefer Christmas and a Yule log and, all the fun Christmassy things. And I just like the decorations. I mean, forget what it stands for. I think it feels good. I love the energy on Christmas and New Year's and all the other ones. Halloween is slowly becoming my favorite. It's a lot of fun. So I like the holidays. So this to me is like a little anti-holiday. So I think it is good and appropriate to get together and kind of support each other and help each other kind of stay up, because we're in this together, whether we like it or not, whether we agree or not. And, sometimes we might have to set certain minor disagreements aside and work together on the bigger agreements. And because to me, that's how you get places.
Yes, absolutely. As Grizz was saying, he doesn't want his kids to experience war because it scarred him. That's what war's whole purpose is, really. It's scarring the soul. And let's hope that's, something that we don't have to go through. Modern refugee in the house, he says they're having local power outages, 7 zip codes, at least 2 polling places affected. He's up in Michigan. Interesting numerology Susan Donahue is sharing, Spirit of 76. Real interesting numerology from the original burning of the White House back in 1814 to November 5th, 2024. Yeah, it's 76,776 days. Yeah, that is seriously curious. Very, very curious. 2 EAS tests on the TV in West Texas, so says Seeking Truth. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Zach's in the house as well. Good to see you, brother. Of course, our beloved KK. Like, share, and subscribe. Yes, please do. Now would be a good time to get everybody to come over to EE Arts and subscribe because, again, about 3 times as many people subscribed to Evolutionary before they started reeling our numbers back, which they still are continually. We had made it to 67,000, then they stopped us at 66,666, and then slowly rolling them backwards ever since. That's the system, but the system's days are numbered. They really, really are numbered. And I'm going to share again what the Polish psychic Christoph, who we do think is very real, he is somebody with gifts, and he feels like a very good soul. And here somebody's taking things out of a mailbox. I don't think that's the normal way that we do things. Don't we usually put things in a mailbox? Ever since the plague upon the land, it's normal now to see people masked, so they can't be as easily traced. It's what the system does. They're very good at creating their New World Order out of chaos. Any system that has software issues is insecure, period. As you see, Pennsylvania County extends voting hours after software issue with scanning ballots. So now it's this one polling locations in Cambria County won't close until 10 o'clock tonight Eastern time. Yeah. You have whole countries that counted elections in just a matter of a couple hours, and everything was done so quickly. Been watching the military traffic. It was way high earlier today. For this time of night, this is a little bit above average, but it was way high earlier, especially with a lot of refuelers up in the air. So it gives you the impression there might be a lot of fighters up in the air. Interesting for sure. Again, there's a lot going on out there.
It's busy. And, not necessarily in a happy way. I know Claudette, she says they want to keep the fear and guilt matrix going. Send pure love out tonight. Absolutely. I mean, we can stand back outside of the fear and just send out love and light. That's something that we should be doing. We are part of this matrix. We need to live in it, recognize it, work with it where applicable, but we don't have to follow the kinds of emotions that they're trying to get us to put out there. We can do our own thing. We can walk our own walk. And just because something is really yucky doesn't mean we can't stand back and separate ourselves from that and just send out love. So I kind of want to focus on that tonight because it is stressful for a lot of people.
Yeah, here you see, as we were talking about earlier, PG&E in California did indeed shut off power in several red areas of the state. A planned power outage again. I think a lot of this is done really to get people's goats. I really do.
It is. It's to get people very, very angry because we have a whole nother level of energy going on here. And yes, feel free. Thank you both. We call on the true creator of all. Mike did a really beautiful meditation on that. I think it's on here, Arts, or it's on Heart's Home too. I mean, it's a beautiful. It's on all three. It's on all three channels. It's a really beautiful meditation. So if you want to go anytime and take part in that, that's healing to the soul, and it's sending the energy out that we really want out there for us to. For us, this is what we want to put out there. So this is what we want to see. So we need to put it out there, and that's one way that you can be part of that.
Ray is asking for some dings that we could hear. Do we?
Okay, yeah.
So
okay.
She'll go see if she could dig up one.
Yep. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is this one?
Oh, let's do a visualization.
Okay, here we go.
Let's just visualize peace and momentum moving forward and cheaper groceries.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Here we go. Ready? Take some deep breaths, you guys, and ground. And visualize something happy. Hold a happy thought in your heart. It can be anything you want. Your pet, your children, whatever you want. Just make sure it's happy in your heart. Here we go. Okay, there were some blocks went out on that one. I always can tell when I start yawning. So somebody had some blocks removed. I hope you feel that. And I hope you guys sleep good tonight too. I know it's for so many people, it's just a little bit of energy work. But hey, we take what we can get right now.
Yeah, Susan Donahue was bringing back remembrance. She says, Michael and Cindy, after your recent guided meditation, the hurricane that might create a Category 6 fell back to a Category 2. Yeah, absolutely. We were doing that, and others were doing it too. This is what we need to do. The true Starseeds light workers out there, helping to create a positive intention, recognizing what the system is doing, and then counteracting it. Russell Brand, he put out a little tweet saying, nobody can save us but God now. And, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what they want you to think, that whatever you do doesn't have any power. That way, you're not going to affect the reality and actually help to wake people up. They want everybody to feel disempowered.
They enjoy that. They don't want people to recognize their own power, and I think that's what we need to keep doing, because you are God. I mean, you are a reflection. A source gave a piece of itself so you could be you, and you are no different than source. So when you're having a talk with God, you are literally having a talk with yourself. And I think what I see most is a lot of people, when it comes to, talking with their higher self, talking with guides, talking with angels, talking with loved ones, it takes a little bit to know who you're talking to. But keep in mind, we all have that ability to talk directly to God. It's within us all. And you need to remain empowered, empower yourself. And that's what we like to do here.
Absolutely. This was just curious because there's this weird flash. Now, is it lightning from a storm? Is it like a transformer or something going out off in the distance? Don't know, but you could see it right there. It's just weird. Some sort of blast of energy. So many people are waking up to the fact that, even just plain old radar can be used to affect things to a much higher degree than we thought. Of course, there's all sorts of technology in play with HARP and CERN and all sorts of energy weapons that are reality. They're not science fiction at all.
Mm-mm. And who was it? Gosh, somebody was just saying, I'm sorry, my eyes are not working very fast. Somebody said that the time change was kicking their butt. It's not super bad for us, but still, I know what you mean. Because, it was Talisha. Hi, Talisha. It's difficult because we have to go by it to a degree. And if you're out in the working world, or, if you have to go outside of your home to work or any of those things, you really have to make big adjustments. And our children do not know about the time change. Our pets do not know, nor do they care about the time change. Their stomachs are hungry when their stomachs are hungry, and it's the same time every day. So that time change is so annoying. I agree. It just bothers me. I want to be on the same time change that Rama and Sita are on, so that could just be steady Eddie there.
So this is Christoph. This is Christoph Jakowski. He is a renowned Polish psychic. I follow him probably as closely as almost anybody. He had a vision here, and he tuned himself into Padre Pio. So he says, I've been tuning myself into Padre Pio all day. And so he connects to Padre Pio. Now, again, there are people that are saints, even though the Vatican is not loaded with saints. There are still people that have been, quote unquote, Catholic saints, and we do know some ourselves. There are people that are saintly in every single tradition, and even with so much distortion that goes on. When we really look closely at Mama Teresa, and we start to wonder, why does she look so much like or I should say, why does the sickle maker look like Mama Teresa so much? Well, anyway, it's a weird world out there. Let's just leave it at that. But anyway, he's tapping into Padre Pio, and so he's using psychometry to a degree to go ahead and connect to this being on the other side, or at least connect to the energy that might give him a clue or a message that will be helpful. So what he does is he puts it up to his third eye, as you can see, and he allows impressions to come in. So what we have, and I'll just say what he's saying, I'll say whatever came first to me. People are being led by the nose. They want to make hell on earth for them. It's the beginning of the 4 wars of the apocalypse. 4 wars, not horsemen wars. There will be 4 wars. So far we have 2. The worst will be the 3rd war of the 4. The 3rd war will have the most casualties. So that one's still to come. The first war is, he says, stolid. So Russia, Ukraine. So he's saying the first war is Russia, Ukraine. The second war is murderous, and that's Israel. And, their war on, Gaza, Hamas, Hezbollah, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, etc., Yemen. And the third, interesting choice of words. The third will be phosphorescent. Immediately, I think of white phosphorus. Phosphorescent, or something like white phosphorus. The third will have the most casualties. Something will rise into the air. What will be carried by the wind, and people will be dying from it. The country which will be attacked will release a cloud of it to kill the infidels. Now, the infidels, that's like Nostradamus' words, too, when talking about the Third World War. And one leader will be hanged. His own nation will hang him. The thing that will go into the air, people will be getting blind and dying. And, that is something else. Whoa. I got that. That was me that got that. Remember when I was sharing that?
Yeah.
About people that couldn't see?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Whoa, that was like about a month ago?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, I know, right?
To avoid it, you need to go underground and wait it out. The country that will be brutally attacked will release it on the infidels. In many parts of Europe, more like the southern part of Europe, I think, and the Middle East, there will be many funerals. Israel will be winning, and then Israel will collapse. But the Arabs won't be celebrating this victory because there will be casualties among them too. After the third war, there'll be uninhabitable places in the world. There'll be diseases that we didn't have before. The third war that will come will bring lawlessness in many places of the world. The ruling politicians will act unlawfully towards people, as if they suspend the law for the time being for their people. And trying to force people to take part in the conflict, which we've already seen. I don't understand this one. The whole world will remember the 8th day of the month. The 8th day of the month. Which month is the question? I don't understand this one either. The Pope will depart from faith, because the Pope doesn't really have any faith. All he has faith is in gold, cash, and darkness. And many will behave insane from fear. This is a little unclear to me. A revolution will start in Normandy, France. People will want to overthrow their governments. And poison has been released on people. A different picture. You will see, and different causes. It will have, because the poison has already been released. These wars are planned, just like everything before them. Like a theater. I don't want to say this because I'm a realist, but I'll say it. Two great world powers. In two great world powers, there are inhuman beings. Inhuman beings. They're not humans. I've never seen him state anything like this before. And, this is big. The begins, he's trying to pick up on that. The new times of Abraham will come with new people. And now it's dying out time. The earth needs to cleanse itself for those that will come. As if new people, or a new species of people, I don't know, it sounds idiotic. It won't be the creators of Zion. They will be defeated. Everything here is a mystification. I think what he's saying is like a spell. It's like a spell. It's real, but at the same time it's a mystification. This mystification will reap the biggest death toll in history. Gloomy times. And that's it. Sorry guys, that was a hard one, was it not?
Yeah, that one's pretty brutal. That was pretty brutal. Yeah, Claudette says another reset. And so much going on. I don't know, what is he picking up? The part that really stuck out to me was the ones that are inhuman. Those are really curious. I really like Christoph because I see the way he works, and that's how I work. And I don't know, it's like you can feel that same energy within someone that you feel within yourself. So you know they're legitimate. It's just something that I feel and that I know. So everything he says, I agree with. I feel it, and especially the way he puts things in front of his pineal gland. That's very, very much like a real eye. It just picks up and sees different energy than your 3D eyes do. So, yeah, I mean, it's something to think about for sure.
It is. And so Cindy did a little meditation. We took a meditative nap, And, often what happens, I recognized years ago, decades ago, I would get just this drowsiness out of the blue. And then I would just lay down. I would not even get to sleep. But flashes would come in to the third eye. And I would see faces, I would see impressions, I would see scenes. And so I recognized over time, this is how the guides are communicating to me. And so, Cindy gets a lot clearer communication. But she was picking up again on something we've seen before, massive migrations of people having to move from one spot to another. There's going to be a lot of migrations of people that have not been migrating yet.
Well, we're already seeing it, this thing in North Carolina. We've seen it in New Mexico. I mean, all the places. Look what's happening in Spain. People who really shouldn't need to be migrating are having to migrate to find new homes, new areas, while they slowly form the world and make themselves cities. And, if you look at these 15-minute cities, they're turning into 10-minute cities. I mean, you can look at some of the largest prisons and you can say, well, that's also a 15-minute city. And I seriously doubt that the designers of these cell cities are any different than the designers of the bigger prisons.
Yes, absolutely. Just fascinating. This was a hard one. This one hit me really, really deep into the core. And what I got from the guides was, even though we might be facing times like this, it's not over. It's certainly not over. This is the exact time that so many people came in to be a part of in order to shift things, and also to help those that do survive. Again, I don't think the entire world's going to be wiped out. If you look even at the DEA, GEL numbers, what do we lose? We don't even lose 10% of the entire global population, which, again, that's a lot of people, but it's not even 10%. What numbers that we've gotten from the guides, the guides have never told us that, the entire lot of humanity is going to be wiped away. But yeah, there is a new humanity coming, and one section of that humanity, well, you could view it like it's the creation of a new worker class that's not as difficult to manage. And feel free, thank you very, very much. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Yes, we definitely need Hanuman's strength and stick-to-itiveness and that will to face any sort of evil head on, because that is exactly what Hanuman represents. It's sticking up for what's right no matter what and being fearless about it. So thank you so much for your support there. Feel free.
Thank you. Feel free. Yes, that's a very appropriate mantra to be doing at any time. Anytime you need some protection. We love Hanuman. He is a personal protector. He shows up when we need him. He's a very unique, very loyal, very good morale. I mean, when it comes to personal responsibility, he takes it very seriously. He protects who he protects, and he protects them to a very high degree. Shri Hanumate Namaha. That's a really good one. So that's a fun one to learn. I mean, we start with Ganesh and we go to Lakshmi, and then we kind of branch off to our own thing. But sometimes you pick out different mantras for different situations, and that's absolutely okay.
Absolutely. And the other side of it is that we're not going to be the same. We are changing. We are in the process of blossoming into a much more powerful form of human with much more abilities, and abilities that would seem paranormal are going to be commonplace. This is part of the Bronze Age.
Mm-hmm. It is part of the Bronze Age, and people are waking up. They're seeing more, they're experiencing more, they're realizing their abilities. And one thing that I want to let people know is that we all have these abilities. They're right there. It's just how much do you really want to tune into them? How much do you really want to hone into them? Is it your thing? It might not be your thing. You might not be into abilities. You might be into something else. You might be into your farm, your dogs, your kids, your this, your that. And life happens. Life happens. And sometimes you might try these things out and try on your abilities and say, it's not really for me. I'll leave it to somebody else. But it is something that we all have and we can all hone in on.
And, white phosphorus, turns out lots of accusations of the U.S. and Israel using white phosphorus. I thought it was very, very curious that he brought up the word phosphorus. One of the other things that it does is it sucks the oxygen out of the atmosphere. So things that Cindy and I have both been getting about that, people having problems breathing, that one vision of somebody that couldn't see and had been impacted. This is, again, something this can do. So there'll be a massive use of white phosphorus from perhaps U.S. and Israeli drones, because what happens, according to alloys, is when Russia goes, they really, really go. And the only thing that stops them is something being laid out in front of their path, basically all the way up to the North Sea, all the way from the Black Sea to the North Sea, pretty much. And it specifically mentioned Prague. And, it seems that there's like a massive use of some substance that seems to be like this. Maybe it's something else they've been developing that's related to it, that makes it too hazardous to go any farther. So this stops that forward impetus. Christoph has seen that, like, by around the middle of 2028, the war's kind of stopped. He says there's no official declaration of peace, but nobody's fighting, but everybody is still in kind of a martial law type of state, like waiting that fighting can break out again. Christoph in this video did not get into specifics of that fourth war. It's the Third World War he focused on. I do think that the fourth is the revolution that overthrows this system. I think that's what that fourth war is, in my opinion. It's people getting rid of the leaders that have brought all this upon them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to be a transformation. I got a little while ago. I don't know, somewhere around 11 to 15 years of transitioning to a new way of living. And that's going to include people discovering the power that they have when you realize how powerful your words are, and you realize how powerful your presence are. You don't just say anything, and you don't just go anywhere, because you know that you have influence and you have the ability to make changes. So you learn to be very, very positive in your actions. And when you realize that everything you put out there comes back to you, you try to be extremely positive in your actions to the best of your ability. But you know what? Sometimes people get angry. Sometimes they get upset. Sometimes you got to say mean things or bad things just to get it out of your system. I mean, we all have these emotions. We should all honor them. And sometimes they're a little bit difficult, but it's still part of us. And I think mostly what it's about honoring yourself. Even if you do have yucky emotions that you need to process. That's the most important thing. We have to be ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. And meanwhile, feet of snow in New Mexico, Colorado, Texas Panhandle, hurricane in the Gulf, and also maybe a tropical depression forming in the Bahamas. This is really rare. That's because, many people have woke up that it's technology. It really is. So many people are finally waking up, thankfully, to the technology. And here we have Hurricane Raphael. We'll see what it does. Again, spaghetti models are mostly showing this thing coming in and turning a little bit eastward, like it's heading back towards eastern Tennessee and North Carolina again. But some also have it going more into Louisiana. A couple even had it just sort of hanging out here. Like, was it Milton? I forget. I think it was Milton that was just hanging there and then started to go. We'll see. But we do know that there's a lot of lithium in southern Arkansas. Are they, going after that lithium grab? Here you see, we disabled Wi-Fi from our home. We only use Ethernet cables now. 4 days into our new routine, my tinnitus that I had for 8 years disappeared. Coincidence? Wow. They're giving credit to Cultivate, Elevate. This is Matt over here. He puts out a lot of good posts all the time. Thank you for putting the info out there. Yeah, absolutely. It's what we have to do. We just have to do what we can to protect ourselves in these times and recognize that the system is not a system for us. Here you have a lot of people outside wearing white mesh masks to prevent cameras from recognizing their faces. Not that they're going to be unlawful. It's really not in me to be unlawful, but at the same time, it's really in me to defy a system that's just pure evil.
I know there's a difference. It's people who want to remain private. They're not doing anything wrong. They just want to, remain themselves and not have to worry about their faces being plastered everywhere. That's just not okay.
So now we can see the map is getting a little bit more blue in spots. At first, Virginia was looking red. Now, Virginia, let's see, a significant amount of votes, but is leaning blue at this point in time. North Carolina leaning blue at this time. That would be a big problem. If North Carolina goes blue. Georgia is leaning red at the moment. 32% votes counted. 54.8% for Trump. 44.6% for Harris. Texas leading blue. That won't last long. 8% of votes counted. 53.5% for Harris. 45% for Trump. Ohio right now blue. 52.3% Harris. 47% for Trump. That's 22% of votes. As you see, states coming in now. Harris is going to be projected the winner of Maryland. Of course, some of these states in the Northeast are obviously going to be, again, Connecticut as well. That's my old home state. Rhode Island. I didn't see Keith in the house. He's up in Rhode Island. They're already saying, Harris is obviously going to win. Massachusetts as well. And Vermont. New Hampshire's one that people were wondering about at the moment. 14% of the vote in. 56% Harris. 42.9% to Trump. So, you can see the results are starting to come in. Florida, they're already giving the check mark to Trump. 82% of votes counted. Trump 55.2%. Harris 44%. And South Carolina is 59.5% to Trump. 12% votes counted. 39.3% going to Harris. South Carolina is very much a red state, as is Alabama and Mississippi. Nothing really counted there. Nothing either there. Tennessee. Nothing in yet as well. Kentucky, you have 36% of the votes counted. 65.2% Trump. 33% Harris. West Virginia, 62% Trump. 11% is counted. 36% going to Harris. So it's probably going to be a pretty long night, guys. Probably going to be a pretty long night. I bet you anything, though, again, I would be the most surprised if there was some sort of landslide, as this is panning out right now. If you have, certainly if you have PA go blue along with Virginia, North Carolina going blue. Virginia, yeah, we'll see. It might be a long night and a very, very close one. And then, of course, Arizona, we'll have to watch that, and Nevada as well. Wisconsin, Michigan are key states, too, as far as more of the up in the air thing goes. But it's all part of the drama.
It's all part of their game. It's a game that they want to play, and they want as many players as possible to go in and vote, so that they can call their game legitimate. That's what they want. So for me personally, no, I'm not going to vote because I don't agree to the game. I don't like it. I think it's very controlling on either side. No matter how you look at it, there's too much control. We're losing. I mean, when have our bills actually gone down? I mean, when was the last time you went to the grocery store and food was reasonable and there's plenty of selection of like non-GMO and healthy food? It just hasn't happened in years. And no matter which way you vote, I don't think it's going to get very better. I really don't. You have to make your own little system. And that starts with you. It starts with you. It's like, how are you going to personally run your life? How do you want to see things done in your house? How do you want to see your world play out? Now, I disagree with the game. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say I agree with the game. I do have a direction that I hope things go in. But when it comes to destiny, it's already predestined. It's just, how are you personally going to travel it? It's up to you.
Susan Donahue was sharing, I've been watching Star Trek to find out how they defeated the Borg, who had taken over the Earth during World War III. Wow, I didn't know that was part of that storyline. Wow. And really, the Borg, the collective, it really is what we're fighting. It's right out there. It's all right out there. It's so crazy. Sometimes when I see that, I almost think, that we're even more in a game than we realize. I want to view it as a game. Look at this. This is the 7 giants of the Urals in the Ural Mountains of Russia. This was former territory of Great Tartary. There are ancient books that record the giants in that region. What are these pillars? I mean, seriously, that does look like a human type of shape, does it not?
It does. It feels like an entity of sorts. It feels definitely like some kind of being, a part of being, something that was alive at some point. Maybe it's some sort of flesh. I don't know, but it feels like there's definitely something that could be read if you were to walk up and put your hand on it. Bet you there's a lot of visions you could get.
One of the biggest reveals to me was when Cindy was fully under. And I asked, how many resets have we been through? And all we got was that it's a huge number. It's not like you would think. It's not like the fifth world of the Hopis. And again, I think that 200 years is more like what we're looking at for major ones every couple hundred years. But it's an ongoing process. But at the same time, too, this is the end of their cycle of control. So we get a big breather. The Earth gets a big breather. And will we fall back down under that part of the control matrix that we've experienced during this Kali Yuga? Because, the Borg, the AI that the Draco introduced, is not part of the original plan. They're not part of the original plan. That's part of a lot, very important information that we've gotten is that, yes, while the Kali Yuga is part of the original plan, not the AI, not the Draco, and again, not the control system that we've been under.
And no, I mean, we're headed into more of a 5D situation, and we have the ability to pull that 5D into the 3D world that we are at. And this is our opportunity. And this is what we can choose to do. And it's about everyone realizing that they have choice. You don't have to follow their rules. You absolutely do not. You follow your heart. That's something that's so very important. And when you run into problems and you run into troubles, you always focus, when you focus on the solution gets bigger. When you focus on the problem gets bigger. That's just sort of kind of a standard in life. So whichever way this goes, focus on the solution for you if it seems to be a problem. don't focus on the negative. That doesn't help anybody. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't process negative emotions. You absolutely can. But you still want to follow solutions for your own personal life.
Yes, absolutely. And, share that love. And Cindy will tell you, she'll find me at times just hugging Rama, hugging Sita, hugging Sassy.
Oh gosh, he's adorable. He loves to hug. He loves the animals. Very peaceful being. Somebody that really, well, he needs to, because Mike and I both have this interesting yin yang type of energy where, yes, we do have an edge to us. Of course we can get angry, and we have to process that out sometimes. And there's like the metalhead part of us, and then there's the Buddha part of us, and everybody has that yin and that yang. So it's what do you really want to feed, though? What do you really want to process? But we still have to have both ends processing to find balance. Balance is key.
Yes, absolutely. And you'll find this upcoming week, everything that comes on YouTube is going to be here at EE Arts. And we'll have more going up at Heart's Home and be doing more regular over at Heart's Home as well. Also, we want to share a lot more information as far as health and healing, because ultimately what we got from the guides is, we are rehabilitation specialists, mind, body, spirit rehabilitation specialists. So that's part of our purpose for this whole time period, is to try to help people to, prepare their physical temples, strengthen their spiritual routine, and develop more clarity and focus, so you can be the best version of you.
That's something we definitely want to focus on and help people. I mean, this life can be brutal. It can be so rough. I mean, people have had surgeries, they've had trauma, they've had bad relationships. I mean, you don't have to be in a relationship where you've been beaten up. You can be in a relationship where maybe you've been neglected, maybe you've been talked down to, maybe you've been belittled. I mean, that scars the soul. That really has a big effect on who you are as a person. And sometimes you need to rehabilitate that. And that's what we really want to focus in on, is helping people with that. And you know what? So much of it starts with the temple. So much of it starts with, okay, what are your physical wounds? Because your physical wounds started outside of your body. And if we can work with the physical and the outside of the body and the energy, we come to a place where we can heal as much as possible. And I mean heal. And what I've been seeing a lot lately is, get your medical insurance now. And it's like, forget the medical insurance. You're just going to spend money on copays, and you're going to spend money on prescriptions. You're not going to heal. Healing the soul, it means a good quality of life. You don't want to slap a Band-Aid on whatever is going on inside of you, because then other parts of you are, it's like trying to cover the holes on something. You can cover up the holes, but there's just going to be another breakout. Something else is going to come up because you're not healing the problem from inside to outside and from outside to inside.
Absolutely. As always, guys, we truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Much love. Source bless, and namaste.
Namaste.